This is your monthly reminder to never get an electric vehicle or go in Mercedes.
Here's the problem with electric cars. I've done one full day, 140 miles, and you have to sit here on your very long day in a car park.
Okay, so I got stranded in my electric car. Here are the pros and cons about owning an electric car.
In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how people are regretting buying an electric car. They're talking about the experiences they had, them almost running out of a charge, and situations like that. And it's just terrifying. So let me know if you own an electric car. Let me know, do you feel like it's a good thing to have? Or let me know, do you regret buying an electric car? I want to know. So let's get into it.
Living in an apartment with a Tesla is the worst thing that I've ever experienced. I literally just got my Tesla and I left work at 25% and I arrived at the supercharger with 9% left. It's kind of dumb of me to go get a Tesla while not having a place to charge it regularly. Like, I always have to go to a supercharger just to actually have some fuel or electric or whatever you want to call it so that I could get to and from work. Hell of a lot cheaper to charge the car than to get gas every single week. But I've been sitting here for like 30 minutes and I had the battery preconditioned and I'm still sitting here. I'm almost done. We got 1% remaining, 1 minute. Not too bad, but like, this is kind of annoying. Kind of regret getting a Tesla since I don't have a place to actually charge it. If you're thinking about getting a Tesla and you live in an apartment, I don't suggest it. I don't. I only suggest getting a Tesla if you have a place to charge it every single night, because this is kind of annoying.
He talking about having a Tesla and staying at an apartment building does not mix. He said he do save gas because he uses electric, but there's one thing: he don't have access to a charging station all the time. So he can't get to a charger all the time. So whenever he can't get to a charger, he has to sit in the car for 30 minutes. Now you can see it in his face that he's ready to just crash out. He's staying strong. And he was like, if you stay in an apartment building, do not get an electric car. It's going to inconvenience you. So it's just crazy. Imagine that you got an electric car and you tell your job that you was late because you had to charge your car. They're going to look at you like, what? You lucky if they don't fire you. They're going to look at you like you the biggest excuse maker in the book. And then like he said, he can't charge his car every day. He don't live by a charging station. It takes too long. He don't want to sit in this car for 30 minutes extra every day. And I can see a lot of people will not charge their car every day. It's like when you charge your phone. You don't charge your phone every day. Some people do. But sometimes you can forget. Sometimes I forget to charge my phone every night and I have to wake up the next morning because you might fall asleep. So I get it. I understand. So he really regretting it. So it's just terrible. I didn't know it was like that. Now let's read some of these comments. These comments, they went too easy on them. One of the comments was saying, find an apartment that allows free charging for your car. But that comment do got a point. Like, that's not their fault that you don't have a charger in your area. And the crazy part, where I can see where he's coming from on his end, is that, but why should I have to be inconvenienced to find another apartment just to get a free charge on my car? So now I gotta move just to get a free charging station? And then I seen another comment. They was basically saying that all electric stations are not free. Some people have free charging stations, some people don't. And then they said if you add it all up, it's just equivalent to buying gas for your car. So it really doesn't make a difference. So that's scary. So let me know, Do y'all feel the same way about these comments? Or do y'all feel like y'all feel something different? What's y'all perspective? I want to know. So let's go to the next one.
Okay, so I got stranded in my electric car. Here are the pros and cons about owning an electric car. Obviously, gas prices are going way over $4 a gallon for regular. That's a benefit. I put about $7 worth of charge on my car just now and got about 180 miles for $7. And so that's pretty good. The not having an engine, not having to worry about things like tune-ups, oil changes, or anything associated with an engine that would take from the life of the car over time. Brakes. The car, or at least the Tesla, has what is called regenerative braking. That means when you take your foot off the gas, it automatically powers the battery to give you more range. So it slows down without you having to put your foot on the brakes, so your brakes can last virtually the life of the car almost. There are many different positive perks. It's a fun car and all that good stuff. People love the roof when they get in, right? Here's what you got to understand about an electric car. Number one, you're not going to get the range that you would get from a gasoline car. You can get close to it. So when you take trips, you're not going to get there as fast. Now, you can beat everybody there with your speed. However, you're going to lose because you're going to have to stop and charge, and you cannot get around it. And so as long as you're okay with having to stop and charge, I was stranded because I didn't realize that my range is taken away even if I'm just sitting in a car. See, there's no buttons to turn it off or anything like that. I use my phone as a key, so it's like when I get in, I can just drive. Get out, it locks itself and all that stuff. So I was sitting in a car and did not know that it was taken away from the range, and so I went down to below zero. And so that's how you get stuck. Now, they cannot bring you an extra charge. You're going to have to be towed on a flatbed to the charging station. But overall, I still like the car. I think for a secondary vehicle, I'm in. The Cybertruck is ugly. I think someone would have to give me that. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
So after watching that, he was explaining about the good things that he likes about the Tesla. He was basically saying that for a secondary car, it'll be good, but not for no primarily car. It's too much that you have to just put up with. And in my opinion, I'm old school, so give me the gasoline all day. They need to just fix how to make faster charging stations, because if it charges too long, who got time to be sitting there like that? And you can't have no charging station any and everywhere, because you got to be careful about that. And the crazy part, what he was saying, like, when he got stuck, he just sitting in the car. And his range just go down. He didn't know he don't have as much range as he would have had if he had a car with an engine. Now, it might be some good things about it. You won't need parts for the motor or whatever. But trust me, in reality, that car is not going to last forever. It's going to be something that you're going to need a new car in 10 years also. It's the same thing probably. But the thing about it is that it's just going to, in my opinion, inconvenience you more. And like he said, once you stranded, can't nobody give you a boost or anything. You know how you run out of gas, somebody come with a gas can? You can't even do that. You got to get towed somewhere. So now you got to be aggravated even more. And then it take you a long time to charge up the car. And me and my dad used to talk about that. Like, they still trying to figure out how to make it faster when you charge it. They got to figure something out. Because at the end of the day, why would you want to spend 30 minutes to an hour? And then you can't go on no road trips like that because they don't have charging stations everywhere. And it's just crazy. And let me know if you like having the electric car, or let me know if you don't. But me, I don't care about no gallons of gas like he was saying. Like, it's saving you gas. But like I tell you, it don't matter to me. I still put $20 in my tank, no matter how much gas is. I done seen a video where somebody only put 77 cents in his tank.
Hey man, y'all check on y'all folks. I'm over here in Lakewood. Somebody just got sent.
He ain't got enough gas to make it nowhere. But I don't blame him. He just like me. Shoot, he worse than me. I only put 20. He said I only need 77 cents. It's hard out here. Gas is high, and it's going higher. So, I done seen areas where it's like $10 a gallon. I don't play those games. Y'all ain't about to keep raising the price, and I'm about to just keep spending more of my money. I'm only putting $20 in there. I'm sorry. So let me know if y'all feel that way too. Let's go to some more videos.
Yeah, it's great. Get an electric car. Fucking snow on the ground. I am charging my car at an apartment complex. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. But because when you turn the heat on in these piece of shit cars, the mileage goes down. So now I started here at 98 miles. I'm here 25 minutes. It went up 1 mile. What a great investment this was. Sitting in the snow and the cold, watching my car charge. My neighbor finally caught on to me. You know what? I'm going to his house right now. I'm going to try to outmaneuver him because this is insane.
He been sitting there for 25 minutes and it only went up 1 mile. Now you know he mad. He calling his car a piece of junk. I know a lot of us do trash talk our cars. That's normal. But he really upset with his car right now. He in the middle of nowhere at an apartment complex. He was like, he's starting to regret it. He's like, this was a crazy investment. And like I was saying previously, not all apartment buildings have charging stations like you've seen in a previous reaction. So I guess the best thing he could do in his electric car, when he sit there for 25 minutes, watch all the cars with gas just drive by. I guess that's the best thing he could do. He get to see all the cars that take gas drive right past him. So he can get even more upset. But I feel where he coming from, all jokes aside. So let me know how y'all feel about this one.
This is your monthly reminder to never get an electric vehicle or go in Mercedes. So not only is it a crazy hassle to have this electric vehicle, if you don't do your research, of course, and if you don't get a charger installed in your house, and if it's not your second vehicle. These are all things I wish somebody told me before I got an electric vehicle, but I'm gonna tell you guys. Number one, make sure the tank is over 300 miles. Mine is 220 miles, so in 2 days I'm already charging. And the money you're saving with going electric, you're now spending time. And if you know anything about anything, time is more valuable than money, okay? Also, you can't just charge your car wherever. Like, I thought I was charging that Tesla. You can't just do that. You got to have a specific app, and once you get there, you got to make sure, first of all, when you check in the app, it might show that it's free, but once you get there, there's going to be a line of 12 people waiting. Now you're number 13, and you got another 3 more hours before you charge. So make sure the app is right, but that don't even matter, because once you get there, something else is going to happen. Listen, then you got to learn how to charge your car. Set up your payment, make sure the payment is good, and everything is all great. That's going to take you another hour. Long story short, I ran out of charge within the first week of me having my car. I've towed my car to Mercedes about 15 times since then because of electrical problems. So there's tons of electrical problems. Now I'm in a loaner, the second loaner, because the first one I just had yesterday caught a flat. So now they put me in this second nice ass EQS, $100,000 car, and I paid $300 for the last tire. Now, yeah, I get it, it's Mercedes. I should have known what I was doing. Listen, don't get an electric car. Stick to gas. And I don't want to hear nothing about this hybrid stuff, because it ain't really hybrid. If you know, you know. Don't get an electric car.
He talking about if you get an electric car, make sure it has a 300-mile tank. His car only had a 220-mile tank. And he was basically saying, like, you got to have an app just to find out which charging station you can charge your car at. You can't just charge it anywhere. And then you got to wait all this time to find a charging station. And then you're going to be like the 13th person that's there. And I bet you everybody at that charging station, they be mad to the mud, ready to just jump off at the hinges of anybody who say something to them. And it's just crazy, because I never knew you had to go through all that. Like, I was thinking about buying a car, an electric car. I don't know. And what do y'all think about electric cars for the future? Do y'all think that when it becomes 2038, everybody's going to be riding in electric cars, or they're going to keep gas for a long time? I think they should keep gas for a long time. Sometimes, some people may prefer an electric car. Some people, it may not bother them. Sometimes, in this situation, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's like they trying to force a lot of things on us. I remember when there was CD players. Then they had to force you to Bluetooth. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I do like Bluetooth better. It took me a minute just to stop living under that rock I was living at to get adapted to Bluetooth. Nah, I like Bluetooth. At first, I used to ride around with CDs for a long time. But it's better, because you don't have to ride around, get your CD scratched up. It don't play no more. But the only thing about Bluetooth is that all the songs that you want, they don't have every song on the internet. If you know, you know. If you a music head like me, all the songs that was unreleased and things like that, you can't find every song on the internet or on a streaming platform. That's the only thing about it. But some things you should just leave alone. Like how he was saying, like, time is more valuable than money. So he don't care that he had to pay more money. He's starting to regret it. He like, if I got to sit here, if I'm like the 13th person, I might not be able to get to my car to 5 hours later. Because I got a long line. And then the apps don't tell you what you really need to know. They don't tell you the accurate information. I have a problem with that. I'm going to be mad in the mud. I got to look up an app and it don't work. I hate stuff I got to use and it don't work. That's my pet peeve. Don't tell me to use something and this bull crap don't work. I'm going to be mad in the mud. And like how he was saying, they lie to you, tell you it's free, and then you still got to pay for it. And that's the crazy part. So I get where he's coming from. It's just madness out here.
Kia EV6, count your motherfucking days. I rented a car because my car has 130,000 miles on there. I need an oil change and some tires, so I didn't want to put it on the road. So I rent me a car, and when I get in there, the guy says, oh, we have this electric vehicle. You familiar with those? I'm like, no, but just let me know what I need to do, and I should be okay. So he tells me it takes about 20, maybe 30 minutes to charge, maybe 20 minutes the most. He shows me how to plug it in and all these things, right? So I get the car on 87%, and I'm just driving. So at about 80 miles until I needed to be charged, I decided to go charge it. Charge it at a Walmart, charge it to 80%, because at this time I don't know that I can change the settings to 100%. So I changed it to 80%, right? So we driving, baby. And now it says that I have 50 miles until I need to charge. So I tell my daughter, I'm like, find the nearest charging station. All the ones she's finding is 30 minutes in the opposite motherfucking direction. I start panicking because I'm like, we got to drive 33 miles and we only have 50 miles until this car is completely, done. So I'm flying back in the opposite direction. While I'm doing this, I'm watching the mileage just dwindle. So now we go from making it there with 24 miles to go, and we needed 22 miles to get to the charging station, to the miles just dwindling down, and now we have hardly no miles, but 17 miles to get there, and I'm like at 10 miles until the car cuts off. My daughter's in the seat Googling shit about the car, like, if you slow down, it'll conserve some of the energy. I turned off the air, I turned off the radio. I'm driving, and the exit is a little further ahead. I can see it, and now we're at like 5%. We get off the exit, y'all, and the car just starts going from like 70 miles per hour and it just dwindles down. Now I'm going like 5 miles per hour. I turn at a light left and the car just stops. So I sit there and my hazard lights have been on for the last 10 miles and I'm sitting in the middle of the street and cars are blowing, which is so fucking retarded because you see my hazard lights on. So I decide to turn the car off and try to see if it'll come back on. It does, and then I start creeping again. I'm 0.2 miles away from the charging station, and I'm praying to Jesus Christ that we can make it there. So then I get to another light, the car cuts off again. So I turn the car off, and I turn it on again, and it comes on. And now I'm driving 5 miles per hour. I make a left, then I have to go to the end of the street and make another left. And when I do that, there's a hill. So now I'm going down the hill and I'm just coasting. And then I can see the charging station a couple of feet away. I'm like, y'all, if this car stops again and don't start, we have to push it there. So we cruise on in and make it to the Walmart parking lot where the charging station is. And when I get there, I am flustered. My hands are shaking. I have yelled at everyone in the car. My oldest in the back talking about, you being so negative. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, we is stuck. I will never in my life rent an electric vehicle. They will have to force me to buy one. I get they trying to, do all this electric shit. This shit's dumb. Now, I don't know if Tesla do this, but I would never buy a Tesla. But anyway, I'm charging right now and I'm getting a ride because it says it's going to take 5 hours to get to 50%.
You see how frustrated she is? Imagine that she was doing all that to find that charging station and she pulled up at that Walmart. What if somebody was already there charging their car? She would have been even more frustrated. Can you imagine that? You doing all that to find a charging station. The charging station is opposite miles the other way. Then as soon as you get there, you like the 13th person in line? This is crazy. Terrible. Now let's read some of these comments. They was talking about, I was having a panic attack just listening to your story. Like, it was an interesting story. And then the other comment was basically saying, I'll keep my $20 on pump too. I told you, it's something about $20. Like I was saying previously, I gotta just be thankful. You know how many times I rode around with my gas tank on E and still made it to my destination? And I drive a lot. I drive so much that I know my cars. And I'm real thankful that I was never stranded nowhere for gas. I may have been stranded somewhere for a motor problem or something like that. But can you imagine? You get stranded in your electric car. And like the previous reaction was saying, you can't even have nobody come give you no boost. You got to get a tow. So you got to make sure you have a tow truck. So a lot of people are saying it's not good for a primary car. You got to keep it as a secondary. And that's crazy. Now, this was a crazy story. She was on some I'm willing to learn. You know how they always say, if you don't know it, don't jump in that lane. Now, she done got the car. She was talking about charging. Then she was running out of a charge. And all the charging stations was in the opposite direction where she needed to go. And the crazy thing about that, she was starting to panic. The car cut off a couple times. She had the hazard lights on. And I get where she's coming from. Because sometimes when you on the road, you can be having your hazard lights on. And people still will act like you ain't got them on. People still drive their high beams on. People will see a road blockage and wait till the last minute to get over. I know where she coming from with all that. So she was getting even more irritated. So she cussing the kids out in the back seat. She just had it up to there with an electric car. So she like, you can't force me to buy one of these cars. And I didn't know it was like that. Like, I didn't know. I've been living under a rock, I told you. I've been driving gasoline cars all the time. You know how that, what's that song? You know how certain lyrics, you can feel it in your spirit. What's that song? Wipe Me Down. Gas tanks on E, but all drinks on me. I felt that in my spirit. You know how many times I drove around with my gas tank almost on E, but still got money to fill it up? I just don't know why. Some people just got a habit of doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because you just not about to let them get you out all your money for gas. I told you. No matter what, I'm only putting 20 in that tank. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's outrageous. But I still rather put that 20 in the tank than be waiting 30 minutes to an hour for a charge. And then I got to go back the opposite direction. So they don't have a charging station everywhere. Because a lot of people are new to this. And it's just crazy. This was a crazy story. She talking about she was by a hill. Like, this was an interesting story. So I see where she's coming from. So I feel her pain.
I finally ran out of charge with my electric car. I can't stop shaking right now. Okay, so I drove really far away and I got in the car and I was like, I don't have enough charge to get home, but I knew where our charger was, but it was like 4 miles the other way. So I drove to those chargers 4 miles away, and so that meant I was now like significantly farther from my house. And I pulled up, none of the chargers were working. The app had said that they were, but like some were being used, some weren't working. It just was all a mess. So I was like, I looked up another one and I knew that there was one between where I was and home that was going to be close, but I should have enough charge to get there. So I drove to that one, pulled up with 3% left of my car. All of them were being used. And it looked like they had all just started being used. And I was like, okay, I think if I take streets, I can make it to the one by my house. So I am driving down the street and I'm like 3/4 of a mile away from the charger that I need to be at. Mind you, I don't know what you do if you run out of charge with your electric car. Like, I don't know. I've had this car for a long time and I am unsure. So the car's at 1% and I'm like, okay, whatever. I've driven at 0 for like a while. Like, there was this one night I ran out of charge and I drove at 0 for a long time. So like, we're chill vibes. Like, I can see it. All of a sudden, no power. Can't accelerate anymore. There's like a light coming up. I am still shaking from how stressful this was to me. But by some sweet grace of God, I literally was like fully accelerating, nothing. Like, the bars that show how much power your car is like weren't working anymore. And I rolled so slowly all the way down the street and like through 2 lights that stayed green. And then I had to hit the brakes to turn into the parking lot, turned into the parking lot. And I was like, I can't accelerate anymore. And my car literally went maybe 1 mile an hour and rolled through the whole parking lot straight into the spot right here. And I am parking and I am now charging. God bless. It was a Christmas miracle we made it here. But oh my gosh, that was so stressful.
Now, she's stating that she had this car a long time, but this is her first time running out of a charge. Now, why does every charging station seems like it's always in the opposite direction? That's the fascinating part to me. Why is it not in a convenient area where you're not going out your way? Why you gotta go back this way to get a charge station? It's just terrible. And the crazy thing is that she was trying to figure out which charging station was the best for her to go to. And on the charging stations, it was saying that they was working, but they wasn't working. So, like I told you earlier, I can't stand inaccurate information or things that don't work and it's telling me that it worked. So it's wasting your time even more. And you can tell, you can see that she was so frustrated, she couldn't even talk without even shaking. Can you imagine going through that? Some people say they don't have no problem. But for the people who's going through that, can you imagine that? And so now she's starting to regret it. And it was all good at first until she experienced her first charge fail, stranded. Then you gotta go the other way. That's like, I know that feeling is just terrible. It's like you feel like you ain't got nowhere to go. You feel like you trapped. Now you just wishing and hoping your car don't fail you. I know that gotta be a terrible feeling. But I see some crazy reasons. I just can't believe all the charging stations are in the opposite direction. That's the crazy part.
Here's the problem with electric cars. I've done one full day, 140 miles, and you have to sit here on your very long day in a car park waiting for it to charge. Why is this a thing? And everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's complaining about electric. Something else, it's not trains, it's electric. The problem is, electrics are just not where they need to be. And there's no way that by 2035, we're gonna have the whole country on electric. There's just no way. Like, this car barely does 200 miles on a full charge. The range anxiety that many people experience is just ridiculous. And I wish I could just pull into a petrol station right now, fill it up and go. And everyone's like, oh, well, why did you get an electric? I got an electric because the balloon payment to get out of the petrol car that we had was $2.5 grand. So we either had to pay out or swap. And the best swap that was on the market at the time was an electric. No, they're improving electrics, but at what speed? Because can you please tell us how we're going to get there by 2035? Because we're just not. Can we just have a bit of common sense? Petrol, diesel and electric. It should be a choice. And the best bit is, if people really knew what it costs to build an electric vehicle, you wouldn't buy one. Trust me. Like, if you knew the cost of building a battery, you would know it's far more efficient just to have a petrol. Anyway, what do I know?
See, now with this reaction, this video, you could tell he haven't reached his limit with electric cars as of yet. You can tell he still wants to give them a chance. He's like, they still got a lot of work to do. So, he not there yet. So you can tell. But he's basically saying, like, but do you think electric cars gonna be up to par by 2035? He don't see no way. And he could have a point, because at the end of the day, when it is time to do recalls and things like that, and I know it's sad, they like to take their time. They don't want to take time for the customer, but they want to inconvenience the customer time. You see how backwards that is? Like how he said he been sitting at a station for like 30 minutes. He just wish he could just drive his car. And then he feels some type of way, because you could tell, because he like people coming at him like, why you buying an electric car anyway? And he don't have nothing to say. He don't have no response. He like, I don't know. So now, since people are going at him in a I told you so type of way, he's starting to regret it. But he still want to give them a chance. So let me know how you feel about this reaction. Let me know. Does he have a valid point? And I just want to know your experience with the cars, because you get different opinions from each and every one. But it seems like the same opinion for this video is starting to sound like everybody's starting to say the same thing. They don't like the time they have to spend when they charge it up. So if they can get that problem better, maybe everything will be better. Maybe people wouldn't regret it so much. But that's here nor there.
Why didn't anybody tell me that you have to pay to charge your electric car? Hold on. Yo, I did not know that we was paying to charge these cars. And I know to some people that might sound crazy, but for me, I was just like, what's the benefit of having an electric car if you also gotta pay to charge it? Is it like emissions? Is that the biggest thing? Saving our environment? Mind you, the car was discharged 3 days ago.
She talking about she didn't know she had to pay to charge her car at an electric station. Well, now you know. Some electric stations, they free, and some of them you have to pay for. And then that's not the half of it. And sometimes, no, majority of the time, from observing, you can see that the stations are always in the opposite direction. So, but she does have a point there, though. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. From the outside looking in, you would think that that'll be the only benefit of having an electric car, that you can charge it for free. You would think that. You know how sometimes you just think things, but you don't know? And then once you start to find out, you like, wow, you really got to pay? And then on those apps, I heard you got to look up to see where the station's at. Some of them stations don't even work. So they don't even have maintenance checking up on them stations, making sure they work properly. That's more inconvenience too. So it's like anything to save some money. But that's her experience with her electric car. So now that I showed you the consumer's perspective of having an electric car, some people have some good experiences with their electric car. Some people have some bad experiences with their electric car. Let me know, which side are you on? Do you like having your electric car? Or you regret buying your electric car? Just let me know in the comments. Let me know, do you own one? Or let me know if you will never own one. Or let me know if you have one as a secondary car and you don't mind going to the charging station. So this is my take on the situation. Let me know how y'all feel, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one.